Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing another update of Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. We have a brand new aircraft that is in today's update, which I am so excited to finally get into a Baltimore update, but we're going to get to that when we get to that. So we're going to be starting off here at the cargo stands like we usually do with this UPS MD-11. This MD-11 is of course going to be heading out to Louisville, and it's a bit of a change of scenery to see the MD-11 here. Usually of course we get the 767 in updates, but we have, just as a change for today, a UPS MD-11 heading out to Louisville. After that, here we have this Atlas Air Boeing 767-300. This aircraft is of course operating a charter flight out to Los Angeles in California. And then next up here, moving over to the Spirit gates, here we have the Spirit Airbus A320. This aircraft has just arrived in from Tampa in Florida and is going to be heading out to Miami, also in Florida. We then have this Spirit Airbus A321. He's arrived in from Houston in Texas and is going to be heading out to Atlanta in Georgia. And then finally here for these gates, here we have the Air Canada Express CRJ-900. He's going to be heading out to Toronto Pearson in Canada. Next, moving around, here we have this Delta Airbus A319. He's going to be heading out to Minneapolis in Minnesota. And then we have this Delta Boeing 737-900. He's going to be heading out to Salt Lake City in Utah. Then next up here we have this United Boeing 737 MAX 9. He's going to be heading out to Chicago O'Hare in Illinois. And then next up here we have a new type of aircraft in a Baltimore update. Here we have the Alaska Boeing 737-900ER, and he is of course going to be heading out to Seattle and Washington. Of course, before this update, I've only ever had the 737-800, or at least the 737-800 in the regular livery, but now I do also have a 737-900 in a regular livery. While we have had the -800 into Baltimore before, it's a lot more common to see the -900s here, so I'm finally glad we have a -900 so I can send the 737-900s out to Seattle in Washington. And then finally here for this terminal, we have an American Boeing 737-800. He is going to be heading out to Dallas in Texas. And then here we have the new aircraft in today's updates. We have finally, and I cannot stress that enough, a Condor A330-900, and this aircraft is going to be heading out to Frankfurt in Germany. Condor have flown to Baltimore for years now. As long as I've been doing Baltimore updates, they've been flying here, but I've never had a Condor model. For years, and also currently, they are flying the 767-300 into Baltimore, but in 2024, Condor plan to retire all of their 767s and their A330-200s, and their only wide-body aircraft will be this A330-900, meaning this aircraft is Condor's future aircraft that they will be sending into Baltimore. They have a few different color variations of this livery. We have like a beigey sand color. I believe we're also getting a red and a blue one, so hopefully we get some models released in those color schemes, so we're not just stuck to using the green livery in Baltimore updates. But for now, I'm just glad we finally have this Condor aircraft, or just a Condor aircraft, in a Baltimore update. But as I said, this Condor Airbus A330-900 is going to be heading out to Frankfurt in Germany. And next up here we have sort of a new aircraft in a Baltimore update. Here we have this Play Airbus A320neo. Play have been flying to Baltimore for a number of months now, but they usually send the A321neo into Baltimore, but occasionally they will send this aircraft, the A320neo, instead. Play have also recently announced service to Washington Dulles, and they are currently sending the A320neos into Dulles while primarily sending the A321neos into Baltimore, which is pretty interesting. But I think they are pretty much interchangeable based on demand on a particular day. So usually we get the A321neo into Baltimore, but occasionally we will get this aircraft instead. So this Play Airbus A320neo is going to be heading out to Reykjavik, Keflavik in Iceland. After that, moving on to Southwest, here we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the heart color scheme. He's just arrived in from Orlando in Florida and is going to be heading out to Norfolk in Virginia. We then have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8. He's arrived in from Kansas City in Missouri and is going to be heading out to San Diego in California. Then next up here we have this Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-700 in the Canyon Blue color scheme. He's just arrived in from Destin Fort Walton Beach in Florida and is going to be heading out to Grand Rapids in Michigan. And then next up here we have the beautiful looking Southwest Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Desert Gold color scheme. He's just arrived in from Detroit in Michigan and is going to be heading out to Cincinnati in Ohio. And then next up here we have another special livery. Here we have the Southwest Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the Freedom 1 color scheme. He's arrived in from Miami in Florida and is going to be heading out to Rochester in New York. And apart from that, that does conclude today's update of Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. I hope you enjoyed. It's amazing to finally have Condor in these updates, and we're going to have Condor in a lot of updates in the future. And as I said, hopefully we start getting some other Condor liveries as well, like the beige color scheme. I know they have that one flying at the moment, but I believe the future liveries that they will get on future orders of the A330neo will be red and blue, and hopefully we get some of those released as well. But this is also my first update ever with an A330neo in it. Of course, I also have the Virgin Atlantic A330-900, but I haven't added that in any updates yet. So this is the first update where we've had that type of aircraft. This airline, I've never had a Condor aircraft in an update or Condor at Baltimore, so it's amazing to finally have a new aircraft, a new airline, and a new service into Baltimore. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's update, and with that, I want to thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.